And welcome back to part 5 in our little Pong tutorial and our general how to make games using JavaScript and HTML. Alright, so in our previous video, we went ahead and got our paddle to move, well, our player 2 paddle to move, and we got the ball reset working. So in this part 5, we'll go ahead and add player score, and we'll also add some speed to our ball, because right now it kind of just has a constant speed and is not really exciting. We're also going to add in a windscreen as well as a net. So kind of looks more like Pong. Alright, so on with the coding. First, we will go ahead and put in the score. So the way we do this is we go ahead and create another function from our canvas context called fill text, and that text goes in the first parameter, player 1 score, player, not players, and we'll put it at 100 100, and then we'll also do the same thing for player 2. And we will put it on the other side. So that is canvas.width minus 100. Okay, so we'll try out our code. And of course, it's not displaying anything because we need to set our player score. So go ahead and do that. For player 1 score equals 0. For player 2 score equals 0. And there we go. So our score is now showing. Now we need to update the score whenever the ball goes past another side. So when the ball goes past the left side, we want to update player 2's score, and when the ball goes past the right side, we want to update our score. Okay, cool. So go ahead and test it out. There we go. So the score now updates. Okay, so now that our score updates, we also want to add in our win screen, also a winning score. So we can do that by doing this. We will add a const because our winning score never changes. So const winning score, let's set it to, I don't know, like 5 or maybe 3. And then we will get a variable called showing a win screen. So basically this the win screen. Okay, so now that we have that, we want in our move everything, we want to stop moving everything when we're showing our win screen. So if we're showing our win screen, we do return. So that immediately exits out the function and everything is done processing. Okay, so Next, we also want to do the same thing. After we generate our black screen, we want to then check if we're showing our windscreen and print out click to continue. We will add that functionality later on. Oh, 100 and then hit return. Oh, and we also want to make sure our fill style is still white. Canvas context dot fill style. Otherwise, we'll get black text on black background. Which is not good. Alright, so now that we have that, go ahead and test it. 1, 2, 3. Interesting. Our windscreen is not showing. Well, that's because we don't make the necessary checks to actually stop the ball once we'll stop the game entirely once the winning score is reached. And we can do that on our ball reset, because whenever the scores change, the ball is reset. So then we want to check if our player score is equal to or greater than or equal to our winning score, or if our player 2 score is greater than or equal to our winning score. Then we want to reset the scores. Otherwise, the scores will carry over on our next game. And we want to set our showing windscreen to true. Okay, so go ahead and test it out. 1, 2, and 3. Cool. So now we're gonna move on and tidy up our game. Our game is actually almost done. So as we can see here, we have the click to continue. So we need to register an event for a mouse click. So we're going to head and go do that by creating a function called handle mouse click. And in handle mouse click, we only want to do things if we're showing our windscreen. Score, we want to reset the score. Again, just to be sure. And then we want to stop showing our windscreen so that our game can start once we click. Okay. And just like our mouse move, we also need to add an event listener so the computer can listen for when the mouse clicks. So we will go ahead and add a new event listener with a called mouse, or that tracks mouse down, and we will pass it the function handle mouse click. I'm trying it out. and there it is, and it resets. Perfect. So now that we have our main game, now we kind of tidy things up. So first and foremost, we will go ahead and draw our net. Our net is a set of rectangles that, well, a set of dashes that go along here. So essentially what those are rectangles, and we can use a loop to actually make those rectangles for us instead of calculating exactly how much spacing to do and whatnot. We could just have the loop draw multiple for us. So we'll do a draw net function and create our loop for I is less than canvas height, because we want to stop at the height of our canvas, and we want to go, let's say, 40 pixels apart from each other. And then inside we want to do a color rect canvas dot width divided by 2 . And we'll have the Y position be determined by our loop. That's how we get the spacing. And then we'll have it have a thickness of 2 and a height of 20, and we'll color it white. Okay. Have that. Make sure there's no errors. Okay, then we want to add it to draw everything. Oh. And inside our draw everything, we want it to happen before we draw the paddle. So draw net, and there it is. There is our paddle. Let's see, we need to adjust it. Nope, no need to. Okay, so now we have our net. Now we also want to determine which player won, because it's kind of weird just having to click to continue. It's not really a victory screen, and you don't know, well, out of context you don't know who won. So we'll go ahead and customize our win screen. So if the left player won, so player 1 score is the winning score, we'll go ahead and do a fill text, canvas context dot fill text, and say that the left player won. And we'll put it at 350 maybe by 200. And then we want to do the same thing for player 2, or the right player. So we'll change the score and say right player 1. And then we want it at the same spot. We also want an else if rather than an if. And we want to move this click to continue down below. So maybe 500. Okay. Oh, I also forgot. We also need to change the speed. We'll do that after we finish up on this win screen. So just checking the code. Okay, good. So we'll go ahead and make the computer win. The text is not showing. Let's see what's going on here. Canvas context.fill text. Is our console saying anything? Nope. No errors. But it's not displaying. And this is most likely because it's not reaching the draw everything. Okay, sorry about that. I had to deal with something else. Alright, so back to actually figuring out what's going on. So what's happening is our player 1 score is being set to 0 before we can even read the score. So on our ball reset, we actually don't want to set the score to 0. We will let our click function do that. So testing again. There we go. So the right player 1. And so now we will go ahead and add our variable speed because it's kind of bland right now. So the way we'll do this is we will look at each position of this bar, and we will give it kind of like the farther out from the bar, the more speed you'll get. That way we incentivize additional skill, and we make it a little bit harder. So we'll go ahead and add that. By doing this calculation right here. So when it hits, we want to calculate the distance from the center of the paddle. So the y direction of the ball minus the paddle's coordinate plus the paddle, the height of the middle of the paddle, and then we will vary our ball speed y. We will set that equal to our delta y times a decimal number, maybe like 0.35, so that it goes faster. Okay. And we want the same thing for our ball speed, well, for the other side. So we'll go ahead and copy that and paste that down. And go ahead and change the paddle 1y into paddle 2y. And that should be what we want. So we'll go ahead and test it. Maybe get like a corner hit. It's not. Oh, didn't properly set that. That's why it didn't change. Okay, so testing it again. There we go. So the ball decreases speed and increases with each paddle hit. See, the corner actually hits it. There we go. And that's all there is to Pong. If you've completed this video series successfully, then you've successfully completed Pong. You know, you've successfully made your first game. Wow. Alright, so if there was anything you needed clarification on, there's always the Udemy tutorial. Again, on every video I will have put the links down below in the description. And if you have further questions, I'll also put my email down below. You can send me your source code, send me, this pong.html document, and tell me your problem, and I'll gladly help you along the way. Alright, so congratulations on your first game, and thank you for watching this video series.